Dreams often arrive quietly in the middle of the night, carrying emotions we struggle to understand while awake. Some dreams feel beautiful, others frightening. Yet many people across cultures report experiencing the same themes. These common dreams can reflect hidden fears, hopes, stress, and personal transformation within our emotional lives. One of the most common dreams people experience is the sensation of falling. In this dream, a person suddenly finds themselves slipping from a height, losing their balance, or plunging through empty space. The feeling is often intense and vivid. The body may jerk awake just before hitting the ground, leaving the heart racing and the mind unsettled. Emotionally, dreams about falling are often linked to feelings of insecurity or loss of control in waking life. When life becomes unpredictable or overwhelming, the subconscious mind may express that instability through the image of falling. It represents the fear of losing something important, such as stability, confidence, or direction. People who experience falling dreams are often going through moments of uncertainty. A new job, relationship changes, financial stress, or major life decisions can trigger this dream. The falling sensation symbolizes the mind's struggle to regain balance during difficult transitions. Another layer of meaning relates to trust. Falling dreams can reflect a sense that something once reliable is no longer secure. Perhaps a person feels unsupported in a relationship, or they may doubt their own abilities. The mind transforms this emotional uncertainty into the physical sensation of falling. Interestingly, falling dreams can also occur during times of personal growth. When someone is stepping outside their comfort zone, or taking risks, the subconscious may react with anxiety. The dream becomes a symbolic reminder that growth often involves moments of instability. The emotional tone of the dream is important as well. If the dreamer feels terrified during the fall, it may reflect overwhelming stress or fear of failure. However, if the fall feels slow or strangely peaceful, it might represent surrendering control and accepting change. Some psychologists also suggest that falling dreams can reflect exhaustion. When someone is physically or mentally drained, their sense of stability weakens. The brain processes this exhaustion through images of slipping, collapsing, or falling. Although falling dreams can feel frightening, they are not necessarily negative. In many cases, they simply signal that the mind is processing change. Life rarely remains perfectly stable, and the subconscious often uses powerful imagery to communicate emotional shifts. Understanding this dream can help people reflect on areas of their lives where they may feel uncertain. By addressing stress, building confidence, and seeking support, the emotional tension behind the dream often fades. In the end, the falling dream reminds us that moments of instability are part of human experience. Even when we feel like we are losing our footing, those moments often lead to new understanding and personal strength. Dreams about being chased are among the most emotionally intense experiences people have while sleeping. In these dreams, the dreamer is running away from someone or something that feels threatening. The pursuer might be a stranger, an animal, a shadow, or even an unknown force. No matter how fast the dreamer runs, the threat always seems close behind. These dreams often reflect avoidance in waking life. The mind may be trying to escape a problem, responsibility, or emotional conflict. Instead of confronting the issue directly, the subconscious expresses the tension through the act of running away. Being chased in a dream can represent fears that a person is struggling to face. This might include anxiety about work, relationship problems, financial stress, or unresolved personal issues. The pursuer symbolizes the pressure of these worries closing in. The identity of the pursuer can sometimes reveal deeper meaning. If the pursuer appears as a known person, the dream may relate to unresolved tension with that individual. If the pursuer is an unknown figure, it may symbolize hidden fears or internal struggles. Another interpretation focuses on personal potential. Some psychologists believe that the pursuer represents parts of ourselves that we have ignored or rejected. Talents, emotions, or ambitions that remain unexpressed may return in dreams as something chasing us. Emotionally, these dreams are often connected to stress. When people feel overwhelmed, their minds create scenarios that mirror the pressure they experience during the day. The constant pursuit in the dream reflects the feeling of never having enough time or space to relax. Interestingly, the moment when the dreamer stops running can be significant. Some people report that when they finally turn around and face the pursuer, the dream changes dramatically. The threat may disappear, transform, or lose its power. This shift suggests that confronting fears in waking life can reduce the emotional tension behind the dream. When problems are addressed, rather than avoided, the subconscious no longer needs to create the image of being chased. Being chased dreams remind us that avoidance rarely resolves inner conflict. Instead, growth often begins when we face the fears or responsibilities that follow us through life. Although these dreams can feel frightening, they are often invitations from the subconscious mind to confront something important. By recognizing the emotional message behind the dream, people can begin to understand what their mind is truly trying to tell them. Dreams about teeth falling out are surprisingly common, and often leave people feeling deeply unsettled. When they wake up, in this dream, a person may notice their teeth becoming loose, cracking, or suddenly falling out one by one. Sometimes the dreamer tries desperately to hold the teeth in place, but they continue to crumble or drop into their hands. Emotionally, this dream is often connected to feelings of vulnerability. Teeth are closely tied to appearance, communication, and personal confidence. When they fall out in a dream, the subconscious mind may be expressing fears related to self, image, or insecurity about how others perceive us. Many people report having this dream during periods when they feel judged or evaluated by others. Situations such as job interviews, public speaking, important social events, or relationship conflicts can trigger these emotions. The mind translates this anxiety into the symbolic loss of teeth, representing the fear of losing confidence or control over one's image. Another interpretation focuses on communication. Teeth help us speak clearly, so losing them in a dream can symbolize difficulty expressing thoughts or emotions. The dream may appear when someone feels unheard, misunderstood, or unable to say what they truly feel in waking life. Stress is also strongly connected to this type of dream. During periods of intense pressure, the mind may create images of things breaking or falling apart. Teeth, being strong and essential parts of the body, become powerful symbols of stability. When they break in a dream, it may reflect the dreamer's fear that something important in life is weakening. For some individuals, this dream may also relate to personal transitions. Life changes such as aging, moving, career shifts, or relationship changes can trigger concerns about identity and security. The dream becomes a reflection of those deeper worries. Interestingly, cultural interpretations of this dream vary widely. In some traditions, losing teeth in dreams is seen as a symbol of transformation rather than loss. Just as children lose their baby teeth to grow stronger ones, the dream can represent personal growth or emotional change. The emotional reaction in the dream also matters. If the dreamer feels panic or embarrassment, it may reflect anxiety about public image or personal mistakes. If the dreamer remains calm, it might symbolize acceptance of change. Ultimately, dreams about teeth falling out remind us that self-confidence is closely tied to how we perceive ourselves. When we experience moments of insecurity or transition, the subconscious mind may express those feelings through vivid and symbolic imagery during sleep. Flying dreams are among the most exhilarating experiences the human mind can create during sleep. In these dreams, people often find themselves soaring high above cities, mountains, or open landscapes. The sensation of floating freely through the air can feel incredibly real and powerful. Emotionally, flying dreams are often associated with freedom and personal empowerment. When the dreamer lifts off the ground and moves effortlessly through the sky, it can represent a sense of liberation from limitations that exist in waking life. People frequently report flying dreams during periods when they are gaining confidence or overcoming obstacles, achieving a personal goal, escaping a stressful situation, or discovering new opportunities can trigger this type of dream. The act of flying symbolizes rising above challenges and embracing independence. Another interpretation suggests that flying dreams reflect ambition. Just as birds travel great distances and reach incredible heights, the dream may represent a desire to achieve something meaningful or extraordinary. The way flying occurs in the dream can reveal additional emotional clues. If the dreamer flies easily and smoothly, it may reflect strong confidence and emotional balance. The individual feels capable of navigating life's challenges and reaching their aspirations. However, if flying becomes difficult or unstable, the dream may carry a different message. Struggling to stay in the air or losing altitude might symbolize doubts about personal abilities or fear of failure. The subconscious may be expressing concern about maintaining success or independence. Flying dreams can also reflect creativity. When the mind explores imaginative environments and experiences weightless movement, it demonstrates a sense of limitless possibility. This often appears in people who are exploring new ideas or expanding their personal horizons. Another emotional dimension involves escape. In some cases, flying may represent the desire to leave behind stressful situations. When life feels restrictive or overwhelming, the dreamer's mind may create the sensation of rising above those problems. The emotional tone of the dream matters greatly. If the dream feels joyful and peaceful, it may represent hope and optimism about the future. If the dream contains fear or loss of control, it could symbolize uncertainty about newfound freedom. Flying dreams remind us that the human mind naturally seeks growth and expansion. Even when we face limitations in everyday life, the subconscious mind imagines possibilities that reach far beyond those boundaries. Ultimately, these dreams encourage reflection on personal goals, confidence, and the desire for freedom. They often appear when a person is discovering new strength within themselves. Dreams about being late are deeply connected to feelings of pressure and responsibility. In these dreams, the dreamer may be rushing to reach an important destination, such as work, school, an exam, or a special event. No matter how hard they try, obstacles continue to appear and time seems to slip away. Emotionally, this dream often reflects anxiety about expectations in waking life. Modern life places enormous demands on people to meet deadlines, perform well, and maintain responsibilities. The subconscious mind transforms these pressures into the urgent feeling of being late. Many individuals report having this dream during times when they feel overwhelmed by commitments, work deadlines, family responsibilities, academic challenges, or personal goals may all create the emotional tension that leads to this dream. Another interpretation involves fear of missed opportunities. Being late in a dream may symbolize the worry that life is moving forward too quickly. The dreamer may fear that they are falling behind or failing to achieve important milestones. This dream can also reflect perfectionism. People who place extremely high expectations on themselves often worry about making mistakes or disappointing others. The dream becomes a symbolic expression of that fear. The emotional tone of the dream often includes panic or frustration. Doors may close, transportation may fail, or unexpected obstacles may appear. These elements reflect the sense that control is slipping away despite the dreamer's efforts. However, the dream may also serve as a reminder from the subconscious mind to slow down and reassess priorities. When life becomes overloaded with responsibilities, the mind may create this dream as a signal that balance is needed. In some cases, the dream may not be about time itself, but about readiness. The dreamer may feel unprepared for an important life change or challenge. The fear of being late represents the deeper fear of not being ready when the moment arrives. Understanding this dream can encourage people to reflect on their relationship with time, expectations, and personal pressure. By adjusting priorities and practicing self-compassion, the emotional tension behind the dream often decreases. Ultimately, dreams about being late remind us that life is not a race that must be won through constant urgency. Sometimes the mind uses these dreams to remind us that balance, patience, and self-understanding are more important than rushing endlessly toward expectations. Dreams about being naked in public are among the most emotionally revealing experiences people have during sleep. In these dreams, a person suddenly realizes they are standing in a public place without clothes. It might happen in a classroom, workplace, crowded street, or even during an important event. The realization often arrives with a wave of shock and embarrassment. The emotional core of this dream usually revolves around vulnerability. Clothing represents protection, privacy, and the image we present to the world. When that protection disappears, in a dream, the subconscious may be expressing feelings of exposure or insecurity in waking life. Many people experience this dream during times when they feel judged or evaluated. Situations such as public presentations, job interviews, important meetings, or social gatherings can trigger anxiety about how others perceive us. The dream transforms this fear into the symbolic image of standing exposed before others. Another interpretation relates to honesty and authenticity. Being naked in a dream can represent the fear that hidden aspects of one's personality or personal life may become visible. Perhaps the dreamer worries about secrets being revealed or fears that others may see weaknesses they have tried to hide. Interestingly, the reaction of people in the dream can reveal additional meaning. Sometimes the crowd appears shocked or amused, reflecting the dreamer's fear of embarrassment. In other cases, the people around the dreamer seem indifferent, which may suggest that the fear of judgment exists mainly within the dreamer's own mind. For some individuals, this dream may also represent a desire for emotional freedom. Without clothes, the dreamer stands without the social masks or expectations that often shape daily interactions. In this sense, the dream may symbolize the wish to be accepted exactly as one is. The emotional tone of the dream is important. If the dreamer feels panic and shame, it may reflect anxiety about criticism or rejection. If the dreamer feels calm or unbothered, it could indicate growing confidence and acceptance of personal imperfections. Psychologically, these dreams often appear during periods of transition. Starting a new job, entering a new relationship, or moving into unfamiliar environments can create feelings of uncertainty about identity and acceptance. Ultimately, dreams about being naked in public remind us that everyone experiences vulnerability at times. Beneath our social roles and expectations, we all share the human desire to be seen, understood, and accepted without fear or judgment. Dreams about taking an exam are extremely common, especially among adults who left school many years ago. In these dreams, the dreamer may suddenly find themselves sitting in a classroom, facing a test they feel unprepared for. Sometimes the questions seem impossible, the time runs out quickly, or the dreamer realizes they never studied for the exam. Emotionally, this dream often reflects feelings of pressure and self-evaluation. Exams symbolize moments when performance is judged. The subconscious mind uses this familiar scenario to express anxiety about being tested in real life. Many people experience this dream during periods when they feel evaluated by others. Work reviews, important projects, personal decisions, or major responsibilities can trigger the same emotional tension that once accompanied school exams. Another interpretation focuses on self-doubt. The dream may appear when someone questions their abilities or fears they are not good enough to meet expectations. The exam becomes a symbol of internal judgment rather than external evaluation. Interestingly, the subject of the exam often has little connection to waking life. A person who works in business may dream about a mathematics exam, while someone in healthcare may dream about history or science questions. This suggests the dream is not about knowledge itself, but about the emotional experience of being tested. The emotional intensity of the dream often includes panic, confusion, and urgency. The dreamer may struggle to find answers, or realize they have forgotten essential information. These feelings mirror real life moments when people feel unprepared for challenges. Sometimes the dream includes arriving late for the exam, or discovering the wrong classroom. These details further emphasize the fear of failure, or missing important opportunities. However, exam dreams can also serve a positive purpose. They encourage reflection on personal goals, responsibilities, and preparation. The subconscious may be reminding the dreamer to focus attention on areas of life that require effort or improvement. Another interesting aspect is that people who perform well in waking life often have these dreams. High achievers frequently place strong expectations on themselves, which can create internal pressure. Understanding this dream can help people recognize the importance of self-compassion. No one succeeds perfectly in every situation. Growth often comes through learning, rather than constant success. Ultimately, exam dreams remind us that life regularly presents challenges that test our patience, knowledge, and resilience. The dream reflects the emotional process of preparing for those challenges and discovering our ability to face them. Dreams about meeting someone who has passed away can be deeply emotional experiences. In these dreams, the dreamer may see, speak with, or spend time with a loved one who is no longer alive. The encounter often feels vivid and meaningful, leaving a lasting emotional impression after waking. Emotionally, these dreams are closely connected to grief and memory. Losing someone important creates a powerful emotional void. The subconscious mind sometimes recreates the presence of that person in dreams as a way of processing loss. For many people, these dreams bring comfort rather than fear. The dreamer may feel warmth, peace, or reassurance while interacting with the loved one. The conversation might involve simple moments of connection, shared laughter, or meaningful words. Psychologists often interpret these dreams as part of the healing process. The mind revisits memories and emotions associated with the lost person, allowing unresolved feelings to surface and gradually settle. Another interpretation suggests that these dreams reflect the enduring impact of relationships. Even after someone is gone, their influence continues through memories, lessons, and emotional bonds. The dream becomes a reminder of that lasting connection. The emotional tone of the dream is especially important. If the dream feels peaceful, it may represent acceptance and emotional healing. If the dream carries sadness or tension, it might indicate unresolved grief or longing. Some people report that the deceased loved one offers advice or reassurance during the dream. While interpretations vary, many psychologists view these messages as reflections of the dreamer's own inner thoughts and wisdom. These dreams can also appear during important moments in life. Major decisions, personal struggles, or emotional transitions may trigger memories of someone whose guidance once mattered deeply. In this way, the dream may represent the mind drawing strength from past relationships. The presence of the loved one symbolizes support and comfort during difficult times. Ultimately, dreams about deceased loved ones highlight the profound role that relationships play in shaping our lives. Even after physical separation, emotional connections continue within memory and imagination. These dreams remind us that love, once experienced deeply, often remains present in the quiet spaces of the mind. returning gently through dreams when the heart needs comfort the most. Dreams about losing something important often create strong feelings of anxiety and urgency. In these dreams, the dreamer may lose a wallet, phone, keys, or another valuable object. They may search desperately through unfamiliar places, hoping to find what has disappeared. Emotionally, this dream often reflects fear of losing control or security in waking life. Important objects symbolize stability, identity, or personal resources. When those items disappear in a dream, the subconscious may be expressing deeper concerns about uncertainty. For example, losing keys in a dream can symbolize losing access or opportunity. Keys represent the ability to unlock possibilities and move forward. When they vanish, the dreamer may feel temporarily powerless. Similarly, losing a phone can represent a fear of disconnection. Phones are tools for communication and connection with others. Losing one in a dream may symbolize worries about isolation or losing touch with people who matter. Another interpretation focuses on personal identity. Items such as wallets or identification cards represent who we are in society. Losing them in a dream may reflect confusion about personal direction or self-understanding. This dream often appears during periods of transition. Moving to a new city, changing careers, or experiencing shifts in relationships can create emotional uncertainty. The subconscious mind uses the image of a lost object to represent that instability. The emotional tone usually includes frustration and urgency. The dreamer may search endlessly without success, reflecting the feeling that solutions in waking life are difficult to find. However, the dream may also serve as an invitation to reflect on priorities. Sometimes the objects we fear losing symbolize values that truly matter, such as relationships, security, or purpose. By recognizing these emotional connections, people can better understand what their mind is trying to process. The dream becomes less about the lost object and more about the feelings attached to it. Ultimately, dreams about losing something important remind us that life's greatest fears often revolve around stability and identity. Through these dreams, the subconscious mind gently encourages reflection on what we value and how we protect those important aspects of our lives. Dreams about death can be among the most powerful and emotionally intense experiences during sleep. In these dreams, the dreamer may witness their own death, the death of someone they know, or even the end of an unfamiliar person. Despite their frightening nature, these dreams rarely predict actual events. Emotionally, dreams about death often symbolize transformation rather than literal loss. The subconscious mind frequently uses the image of death to represent endings and new beginnings. Just as seasons change and life evolves, certain parts of our identity or circumstances may come to an end. For example, someone who leaves a job, ends a relationship, or begins a new stage of life may experience dreams involving death. The dream symbolizes the closing of one chapter and the uncertain beginning of another. Another interpretation relates to emotional release. Sometimes people carry old habits, beliefs, or fears that no longer serve them. The dream may represent the mind's attempt to let go of those patterns. The emotional tone of the dream provides important clues. If the dream feels frightening or tragic, it may reflect resistance to change. The dreamer may fear losing something familiar or stepping into unknown territory. However, if the dream feels calm or reflective, it may indicate acceptance of transformation. The dreamer may be subconsciously preparing for personal growth or emotional renewal. Dreams about the death of someone else can also carry symbolic meaning. Rather than representing actual harm, the dream may reflect changes in the relationship or emotional distance between individuals. Psychologically, these dreams often appear during times of deep reflection. Major life events, personal crises, or moments of discovery can trigger powerful imagery in the subconscious mind. Understanding these dreams requires recognizing that the human mind frequently uses dramatic symbols to process emotional experiences. Death becomes a metaphor for closure, renewal, and change. Ultimately, dreams about death remind us that transformation is a natural part of life. Just as old chapters end to make room for new ones, the mind uses dreams to explore the emotional journey of letting go and moving forward.